So another step that I done was I supported with some heavy steel after I've tried breaking these apart with a screwdriver. I've taken a hammer this on here to fatigue the metal and the little spot welds. I also made, or I just cut a piece of 3x3 half-inch angle iron. And the reason for that was when I was doing these, I could go in here and hammer these back, turn it on, turn it around. So yeah, just kind of get the idea. I went and I hammered these back, kept fatiguing them, flipped it over the other way. This is something you can do yourself and fatigue these. Plus, you flatten it all back out when you put it back together. So yeah, I keep getting a sharp screwdriver in there, hammer up, break the spot welds that are left. I didn't want to drill out that much, so it's easier to weld back together. And I use a center drill. So yeah, you want to use a center drill. A center drill is a high-speed steel tool. Right here, you can pick these up. They're small, different sizes. But this is what you need to get through the spot weld. A drill itself, it will lose its sharpness really quick. So I did a lot of positioning, jigging, and shimming it all up to support, especially the corner here to get in here. So it's going to take a bit of time, but the end result will be good. So you get excited, you got the spot welds all broken apart, but there's another problem. GM put 8 little fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4. They bent those over, 4 on each side, to grab the boot inside of here. So you spread it, it's still held together. So you have to go in with a tool and bend those fingers out. Sometimes you put enough pressure on it, you can kind of pop them apart. So as you see here, I put pressure on it, I pulled it apart. These little fingers here, get my screwdriver here. There's one here, one there, one there. So I pulled it apart enough that you kind of can wiggle it out of there and then straighten them out after you get it apart. So there it is. I pulled that half apart. Opal has these bolted together, but GM decided to spot weld these. So this is the golden part of the whole assembly that we're fixing. So you can see the fingers, they gotta be straightened back so we can put this boot all back together, sandwich it. A lot of times these boots are all cracked on the end, all broken, sagged out. And these tin housings, half the time they're rusted to death, but they can be salvaged as well. So it takes quite a few parts to make a new one, to find what's not broken, what's salvageable, and reassemble it. So with a lot of struggle getting these spot welds out, there's 5 on each side. There's a group of 3 and 2, 3 and 2. So I didn't want to mess with fingers, and these rubber boots are in really nice shape. They're not deteriorated, so you can split these with it like an orange. Break it apart. Give it some time for that finger to release. See the fingers caught right there. Give it time to let it work its way off. And at that point off, I find if I had a Chevette axle here, so I just put it over the end. I'll get a shaft, and there it came. Usually it takes a couple times. So the next step was to take the pliers and straighten all these tabs, bring them to the inside on both pieces, because when we put it back together, this boot has to sit right back in that groove. So the next step is to take my little trick that I came up with. So the solution I came up with was to recenter these and stiffen them And the way to do that is to get 3/8 fan belt. I got some old used stuff. Cut them 7 3/4 inches long. And they will get stuffed into the boot on the inside here. Can't really tell, but they'll be on each side of the groove. They'll be curled around. So you bent your fingers back. You got your boot, and you can see there. The fan belt is tucked inside there. And I've done this on both sides. 7 3/4 inch 3/8 fan belt. Now these have an orientation. This is the back, and this is the front where the bearing goes in. You can see the pocket in there. Clean it out as best you can. I sandblasted this, a little bit of grease, sand in there. So we fit these back into that groove. Get your top piece, fit them back together nice and snug. So I did one here. Make sure that the fronts are all level. Even when they're clamped, you can tap them a bit. Make sure that all your orientation, center holes, the center drill, and all these little back corners all line up. They might be a little bit bent from hammering on them, but everything should line right back up. So I just MIG weld these closed again, and be careful around the boot. A little bit on the trigger when you're MIG welding, just build it up. Don't give it too much heat there. These 4 pieces here. And then you have that section all finished. So next thing we're going to look at is cleaning up the bearings, repacking them, picking them apart. These are really hard to find bearing, and I don't even know if they're even available anywhere. If you want to look for them, they're a 42 millimeter outside, 21.4 millimeter inside, 12 millimeter wide. So the inside is 0.842 thousandths of inch if you're looking for it that way. I've searched all over, I could not find these. They do sit inside this rubber boot pocket in here. So they need to be cleaned. These ones are all smooth turning yet. I pick them apart, clean them, repack them, seal them. Another thing you want to do is look at your torque tube drive shaft. I clean up the ends, I sandblast where the bearing fits here. And this surface here, I believe the seal rides somewhere in here on the rear end, the pinion seal. I did a couple more here. This one's good, but this one here is very questionable because this is precision repair. You want to make sure this stuff is all, it's got a ridge right here, because it's not going to seal, it's going to leak oil out of your pinion if it rides right up in here. There's pitting right here, so that's not going to pass. So there you go. We'll carry on with some more assembly later.